potential criminals? And should we go out and be buying guns?
Yes.
What fences? What are things that are proven? Like if a guy gets shot here in one of our houses, will that prevent the next gang from coming in here? What are some things that are proven in other communities that are test cases that have tactics that have worked, that have truly worked?
We certainly don't.
We certainly don't want you to be a vigilante. So what we do recommend is having the neighborhood watch meetings where we show you how to set up layers and make your home a hard target with the alarm, with the signage, with video cameras. If you have a dog, all those things, we'll show you how to reinforce doors. All those things to prevent the burglar, first of all, coming in your home. What I really want are your eyes and ears. Many of those arrests that we've made is because Good Neighbors, which is your best alarm system, is watching out for their neighbors and they call when they see something suspicious. Most people should be at work during those times. If you're walking around and you see cars driving up and down or people looking at casing your house, that's when you need to call. If you get the license plate number, if you get a description, if you just call us, we've responded. I did play some of the videos, but many of the videos where we have caught those crews was because Good Neighbors were watching out for each other. And that's the best that we can hope for if you do that. Now, Grace and Daniel can set up the neighborhood watch meetings for you, and that will give you enough information to make your homes a hard target. But the bottom line is we do need boots on the ground. We do need more officers in those neighborhoods, and that's what we try to do with our burglary suppression cars and our gang suppression cars and a lot of the overtime officers that are out there.
Can I just add, please do sign up for our registry. We want this to work, and that means we need everybody to sign up. That'll help everybody else be safe.
Good evening. My name is Carolyn Mesaie. I've been a resident of Alameda Valley for 35 years, and I remember that reading somewhere a long time ago that San Jose Police Department was one of the best in the nation, and I want to thank you for all of your service. One of the best, except that it's extremely understaffed, and I understand that from 56 people that graduated from the academy, maybe 9 just stayed in the area. And maybe the problem has to be with the incentives that Tier 2 police officers get, which are the new officers. From my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, they're only getting 65% of their pension compared to CalPERS and other areas that get 80%, as well as they pay 20% towards their benefits compared to other departments who pay 9%. So what kind of negotiation is being done with the Tier 2? I know you're negotiating with POA, but they're also Tier 1 officers. So what is being done to give incentive to these new officers to sign up and stay in the area?
Great question.
I want to correct one statement there. We're actually not negotiating. That's the problem. Right? We can't accomplish anything until we're negotiating. So we reached out 2 weeks ago. We were eager to negotiate. I'm hopeful we're going to negotiate very soon. But I think it's important for all of us to be mindful that 2 things can be equally true. One is that we know officers have left and are leaving because of compensation issues, which also make it difficult for us to attract officers. It's also true, by the way, you don't believe me because I'm a politician, so by all means look it up for yourself. We lost 320 officers in total police staffing. 320 officers net. That is, we lost more officers than we gained between the Great Recession and the passage of pension reform. Okay, and the reason why we lost 320 officers was because we were broke, right? We laid off 66 officers in 2010 alone. We had a lot of officers retiring because they can retire at age 51, 52, and we had no money to hire any officers back. We had a freeze on hiring. So there are 2 challenges we face, right? One is we know we need to create a compensation structure that works better than it does now. At the same time, we need to make sure we have the money to actually hire an officer. And we have to solve both of those problems. And so the only way we'll do it is through negotiation, and I hope we'll do it right away.
We have a question over here.
What's the question?
Hi.
Next question, next question.
I wanted
Hi, my name's Nick Lavoski. I'm a 20-year resident of Almadén Valley, 30-year resident in the city of San Jose. And I have a solution for this. And it has a lot to do with the tactical question the gentleman had a moment ago. We crowdsourced use of surveillance cameras and also interaction between community members in our neighborhood. So this has driven the crime rate, the burglary rate, to zero in the Almadén Winery neighborhood. All around us, we're being hit like crazy, but not in our neighborhood. This solution is also being used in our nation's capital by the Washington, D.C. Metro Police. It's called Capitol Shield. What they do is they go take it even a step further. So I applaud the Mayor Carl, the registration of cameras, but this is a step further than that. It's a use of an application where citizens can communicate with each other in real time. You can view your cameras in your neighborhood in real time through cooperative, like-minded neighbors. And they take it a step further and use a public and private partnership between businesses that already have installed cameras on their businesses that are already capturing this kind of data. Maybe they got to point the camera closer to get license plates. And there's an identified company that I've identified that participates in Capitol Shield in Washington, D.C. that will actually give the city of San Jose hundreds of cameras in order to put those up and help abate crime. This is a solution that's worked already here in Almadén Valley. It's already worked in our nation's capital. And I'd like to suggest that we try something much like this beyond camera registration, which is a great idea. Good first step. This will take it further.
Susie, let me get this question over here. Susie, I have two questions over here.
Thank you. I want to thank both the politicians and the police for coming out. And this is a question to the police, and this is something I would like everybody in this room to be aware of, when we should be calling 911 and how to keep our children safe. I'm going to make this really brief, but a crime that nobody's talking about, there's a lot of hit and runs going on where children on bicycles are being hit by cars and the drivers are leaving the scene and they're not giving the information to these kids. And it just happened last week in Almadén, and my friend is foreign. She didn't know. She dialed 911 right away. If you don't know, her kid was thrown on top of a truck. There were injuries, and a neighbor walked her home. The guy was a day worker at a construction site. So I just want everybody to know to tell your children, if you're on a bicycle, call 911 if you're hit by a car, because that driver may leave. And if he doesn't give us any drivers out there, you have to stop. You need to give the child your driver's license, your insurance information, because otherwise it is a hit and run. I just want to draw attention to that. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a quick question. Earlier you said that 53% of
I'm sorry,
ours
can I just respond briefly? Because this is a very serious concern. I just want to let you know, I hear you loud and clear. We've got a serious pedestrian safety problem in this city. By the way, we're seeing that spike in lots of cities throughout the state. A lot of distracted driving, a lot of problems. We are going to see, I hope, a budget in the next 3 months that's going to allocate more funding for some basic things like radar trailer readouts that do help control and reduce speeds. And I think you're going to see, I hope with the support of my colleagues, some funding for additional traffic calming devices. We know we'd love to have more police officers, but in the absence of more officers, we need to do more to the streetscape. So more to come. I'm sorry.
Earlier you had said that 53% of robberies were occurring from juveniles. I would like to know, are those juveniles from San Jose or from the Central Valley? I heard secondhand that a lot of gangs were coming from elsewhere and coming to the richer neighborhoods in the Silicon Valley to perform crimes. I prefer the police answer if they have data.
So, I didn't say robberies, it's burglaries, and that was only for the arrests that we made in Southern Division. And I actually did look at where are these minors coming from, what areas of the city, or are they from outside the city? The majority are from San Jose. Are they from this area? No. There were the 2 minors that did the burglary and that killed the animal. They were from this area, but the majority are not.
2 short questions.
My name's Elaine. I live in the Bryn area. It's not a rich area by any means, and we don't have burglar alarms on most of our houses. We lost over $50,000 worth of heirloom jewelry from our grandparents, as well as computer owned by And I'm wondering what's happening to shut down fencing operations for goods that are stolen, because these people aren't just wearing my diamond ring, are they? And then my other question is, you were talking about taking fingerprints, but we had great fingerprints on our window. They were never taken. I called the police to ask if they would come out. No one ever got back to me. So I'd like to know why there was no fingerprints taken and where the stones gone.
My name is Paul Mesaie. I'm the burglary commander. A lot of the items that are being taken are being immediately sold. I'm sure you've all been to malls where you see the cash for gold kiosks. The burglars are not holding on to these items. They're targeting small valuable items that they can sell quickly, move fast, and they want the cash. So unfortunately, it's very difficult for us to recover these items. Now, we do receive pawn slips from pawn shops, but unfortunately, we do not have the staff to look at every pawn slip that comes in. We collect them, we file them, we organize them in anticipation of getting staff. But unfortunately, we do not have staff.